Okay, thank you very much. Thank you so much, Dr. Basalirwa. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, I'm experiencing challenges with my gadget, but I've successfully switched to another gadget. A very good morning to you, dear ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us again on this day. Today we gather for our final session of the year under the Become a Better Entrepreneur series. And I'm really happy to share with you what we have done through the year. Maybe for those of you that are joining us for the first time, I am happy to mention that the center fosters entrepreneurship through our various activities. We majorly focus on business incubation because we believe in the power of businesses. We believe that business is what will get us Ugandans out of poverty. If we start a business and run it well, we are able to generate incomes, we bring new products and services to the market, and we also have our economy grow. So in our business incubation focus area, we look for individuals that have unique ideas that would like to start a business but need support, they need hand holding, they need to be linked to other actors in the entrepreneurial ecosystem so that they can see their dreams become a reality, so they create companies. So in the business incubation area, we have done quite a lot, and I would like to thank the manager of business incubation at the center, Miss Remy Kirunda Namutangula, for the great job that she has done. We have been able to create partnerships. We have worked especially with the National Social Security Fund under their High Innovator Program. And we have done amazing things there, supporting entrepreneurs to unlock funding. We have also done a number of ideation sessions for our own students. And recently, when we had a session with our students who had gone through our ideation sessions, and I mean those that are really at the very start, the very beginning of their entrepreneurial journey, they had amazing stories to share. Most of them have gone to start companies, they've gone to pivot and change what they're doing. Sometimes they've moved away from what they originally started with, having understood what is happening in the market, and that gave us a lot of hope. And at MUBS, we want to really appreciate our management, led by Professor Moses Muhwezi, because Professor Muhwezi has supported our ideation programs, our acceleration programs. We have done quite a lot. We have partnered with the MUBS ICT Centre, who, because we now know that we cannot talk about entrepreneurship without IT, so we want to appreciate our director of the ICT Centre for the partnership for so many years that has seen us support many young people come up with ideas, implementing those ideas. And then, of course, our partners in acceleration. We have partnered with the UNICEF in our business incubation program, where we have also been able to touch other young people out of school in the local communities to also be able to address their local problems by thinking about starting up, especially focusing on social enterprise. And I want to appreciate our partners again, our MUBS campuses in Mbale, in Jinja, in Barara, in Arua, for helping us run that Upshift program. The mentors have done a wonderful job. So, ladies and gentlemen, you realize that under business incubation, the center has been able to touch a large number of people, young people, older people, companies that want to start, companies that have just started, companies that want to scale. And let me appreciate the team that has relentlessly worked on this project. We definitely appreciate our partners again on our business incubation program, Outbox, and others, where we believe that the potential of this country can be unleashed through startup. We can stop talking about poverty. We can stop talking about handouts if we are very deliberate in identifying opportunities and exploiting them in our communities. We have also done a lot of trainings. Again, training is one of our focus areas. And in training, we believe that people that are going to successfully run businesses are those that continuously upgrade, the people who want to learn, people who acquire knowledge so they can use it to run their businesses better. We have majorly done this through partnerships, and I want to appreciate the World Bank and the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development, with whom we've partnered on the GROW project. Most of you know the GROW project. It is a project that is targeting supporting women entrepreneurs running micro and small enterprises to grow their businesses. Those that are running micro enterprises should grow to become small enterprises, and those that are running small enterprises should grow and now become medium enterprises. It is generating growth opportunities and productivity for women enterprises grow. So the quite a big project that is looking at an integrated approach of supporting women entrepreneurs. They're not they're giving several services in one single project. For example, they're looking at strengthening network women entrepreneur platforms, because we believe that when women have access to, when women get together in groups, when women do work together, they learn better, they support each other, they mentor each other, they share information, they share information about resources, they get access to resources, and it's easier to support them. So GROW has focused on growing women entrepreneur platforms, where the Uganda Women Entrepreneurs Association has played a very big role in creating and strengthening women entrepreneur platforms around the country. The project is also looking at enterprise development services, especially supporting women entrepreneurs to acquire knowledge and skills through training, where Makerere University Business School Entrepreneurship, Innovation and Incubation Centre has been instrumental in developing a curriculum, an entrepreneurship curriculum, entrepreneurship training curriculum, and also developing a mentorship strategy. And to date, MUBS has trained 4,141 women in central and northern Uganda. And these women are mentored so that they can support their businesses. I want to take this opportunity to appreciate the World Bank again and the Ministry of Gender for this wonderful program, and MUBS Principal, Professor Moses Muhwezi, for the support, and also the experts that developed the curriculum, the trainers, the mentors, the entire center team. Thank you very much. GROW is also looking at supporting women access financing, and the GROW loan has been very, very popular since the launch of this project. The women have accessed funding, and they're really working on growing their businesses. Some of you on this platform may have benefited from the GROW loan, which has been given out through different financial institutions. The project also is looking at giving women access to infrastructure like common user facilities and other infrastructure, which I know is coming along the way. The Minister of Gender, we want to thank you very much for giving MUBS the opportunity to make a contribution in this area. The center has also partnered with the Uganda Development Bank, again, to train SMEs, cooperatives across the country. And I want to appreciate Director Sarah Chejusa for coordinating this project very wonderfully, Director Charles Soluport, and also Dr. Kusemirerwa, who have been very central in getting these entrepreneurs supported. We want to appreciate the Uganda Development Bank, Ms. Barbara Kasekende, for working with us diligently to ensure that we support entrepreneurs make a contribution in this country. We have also continued to find opportunities in, because we believe that it is research that will change what we are doing. And in this area, we previously done research, and we look forward to doing more research. For example, on the GROW project, we have been able to research to understand what are the challenges of women entrepreneurs and what can we do to support them better. We have done research on refugee women entrepreneurs again also, and we have this data available. Should any person in the entrepreneurial ecosystem need, these are reports that are readily available. You may want to use data. This data is available and this informs exactly what we are doing. We have continued to disseminate information, and I want to thank you all, those of you that have been attending this Become a Better Entrepreneur series religiously. Thank you very much. Those of some people joined us only recently, but the purpose for us here is to create a platform where we can share information, where we can make people learn from other people, and share experiences, tap into each other's networks and other resources, and do what we do better. We have had a couple of positive testimonies on regarding this Become a Better Entrepreneur series. And today, we also hope to hear from you. You'll tell us what you have learned here, how we can do things better. But in our dissemination of information, this is the reason, this is what we're looking at. And we have also done our business clinic. Every last Thursday of the month, we have been out in the community to share information, to support businesses that are struggling but cannot afford to pay for BDS services. And I also know recently that the National Council for Higher Education is requiring universities to go out there and share knowledge. For us as MUBS, we are very proud that this is what we've been doing, and we want to continue doing the same. We have done consulting work. We have consulted for a number of organizations. We have worked with the Private Sector Foundation. We have worked with a number of institutions using the knowledge that we've acquired, and that has also seen us as a center generate income, which helps us to, again, run other activities so that we can continue fostering entrepreneurship in Uganda. If you're here on this platform and you feel that we can partner with you, and you want, you also, maybe you're running an organization that can, help us touch more entrepreneurs, please feel free to contact us. We can have a discussion. But I can tell you that today we are very happy. By the way, let me inform you that Become a Better Entrepreneur series was started about 6 years ago. We started this in 2020. And I'm very happy that we have walked the journey. And we believe that we are changing the way individuals are running their businesses. Normally, we would have invited a speaker to come here today, but today is special because we also feel that it is time for us to sit back and take stock and see what have we learned over time since January 2025. And we want to appreciate all our dear speakers that have dedicated time, that have made effort to be present between 7 and 8 a.m. to share, freely share with us their journeys. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I don't take any speaker for granted. Reason that some entrepreneurs in this country do not feel so free to share their journeys. I've contacted a number of them, and they are not ready to share their journeys. For me, those that have done that, we appreciate them very much. So join me to express our gratitude on behalf of the principal to those entrepreneurs that have freely, generously shared their journeys. They have shared their contacts. They've invited us to visit them. Really, sharing knowledge is the most important thing, and it is what is going to make us better people. I want to appreciate the partners of MUBS Entrepreneurship, Innovation and Incubation Centre, who believe in the entrepreneurial ecosystem, building it, and whose resources and support have been very, very important for our success. Thank you so much to our partners. I already mentioned them and the different focus areas. Let me appreciate deeply the management of MUBS led by Professor Moses Muhwezi. Thank you very much for providing the vision and the institutional backbone that has allowed this program to flourish. Professor Muhwezi and the management team at MUBS, I want you to know that your leadership has empowered us to also empower other people in our different programs. Allow me to appreciate our team at the Entrepreneurship, Innovation and Incubation Centre. These team members are the engine that have kept this series going. You've heard them every morning talking about the spraying and talking about the center, the different focus areas, managing the Q&A session. Josh, I would like to appreciate you as a technical person. Thank you so very much for being very consistent in designing the flyers, getting access to speakers. Very, very powerful. And the rest of the team, thank you very, very much for supporting this program. Your dedication is much appreciated, and we know that we are going to do even better. Allow me to appreciate our session host. I call her resilient host, Dr. Edith Basalirwa. Thank you very much for your commitment, for your energy, and effort in getting this done every Thursday. I know she has also been able to find speakers. We all work together to look for speakers, and we want to appreciate you, Dr. Basalirwa. Thank you very much. I would like to appreciate the entire MUBS community. We have had MUBS speakers from MUBS. Our colleagues at MUBS, thank you very much for making time to support this program. And finally, to you, our dear entrepreneurs, the consistent attendees, we want to thank you very much for believing in this program. Thank you for your curiosity, for the desire to learn, and for trusting us, making time every Thursday morning. You are the reason why we are here, and why we do it is because we believe you're the future of this country, and we don't want to stop here. So this morning, let me now go straight into what we want to do this morning. We want to focus on what did we learn through the year. And I'm going to request Josh to please run the slides for me so that I am able to share what we have done through the year. Josh, please share the screen. Thank you. Thank you, Josh. Okay, so we thought deeply about this, and we said we have done. We have hosted many speakers through the year, and it's important that we sit back and look at what we have learned. What did these people tell us? And then what are we doing? What should we do about what they told us? Because we had many of them. Because every month we have 4 speakers. Because every Thursday we have a speaker. So I want us to quickly go through what we are doing. We are looking at the key takeaways from each speaker and what we should do as we close the year, as we plan for the year 2026. Can you please proceed to the next slide, Josh? I'll be fast. Okay, I think, Josh, there is a slide. I want to go to January. I think January should be the next. I don't want to start with February. Let's go to January. And I think there is the January slide. Please go to the January slide. And that should be the next, I think. Sorry, I think there is an error.
Doctor, let me try and retrieve it.
Oh, no, it is the next slide. I looked at the slides on January and unfortunately came after February, but I want to start with January. Thank you very much. So we opened the year with Honorable Peter Sematimba, and he talked about how we could unlock the entrepreneurial potential, but mostly he looked at the habit advantage. And here he was really saying, let's look at our habits, because our habits really form us, and they inform our actions. And the key points he focused on was that for you to be who you are, to become what you want to be, look at your habits and don't simply look at the resources. What is it that you do on a daily basis that eventually informs what you do and determine whether you succeed or not? He urged that we turn knowledge into action And then he also talked about he urged us to understand the seed versus the harvest. Now, the thing is, what is it that we should do about this? It would be very good for us to look at our habits. What are your habits? Can you look at those that are, destructive, those that are helpful and productive, that you want to focus on as you map your journey in 2026? And he asked that we turn knowledge into action. And that is why we have this session today, that we have acquired this knowledge over time, over these months, since January to date. But what have we used this knowledge for? Can we use this knowledge to do better in our businesses, to do better in our professional journeys? And most important, what kind of habits are going to enable us sow seeds so that we can harvest? And so from Honorable Peter Sematimba, it is very important that we go back. What should we do? Let's go back and look at our habits. 2025, what are those habits that have been helpful, that have been productive? What are those habits that have not been helpful and that you want to discard as we come to 2026? Mr. Osbert Muganga also came and shared about how technology could be used to build innovative solutions. And this gentleman comes from the company that that introduced the School Pay app, the School Pay app and School Pay technological solution, which has helped a lot of schools, a lot of parents, and has eased our process of paying school fees. I'm one of those people very, very happy when I pay school fees on Sunday night on my phone. And I always remembered when we used to go to the banks and, line up and take hours trying to pay school fees. So the issue here is, can you focus on solving a real painful problem? What should you do? Because that's what we learned. But what should we do? Let's go back and look at the pain points of our customers. And we have customers in different spaces. If you're an entrepreneur, you have your customers. If you are a professional person, you also have, all of us have customers wherever we are. Now, let us go and look at that problem that has not been solved, and then we can address it. But also understand that to do that, it would be very good if we embrace technology, because we're going to be very efficient. And also, remember that as we as we use technology, trust and security are very important. Let's go to the next slide. I'm going to be very fast because of time. We have a couple of them. Next, now we go to February. So in February, we also had Mr. Abdal Kasule, Dr. Abdal Kasule from MUBS, and he talked about artificial intelligence tools for your business. And we all know that artificial intelligence is now very, very topical. We cannot avoid it. And we also learned that you must leverage data in order for you to succeed with AI. You must collect and organize data for AI insights. If you do not have data, AI will not be useful. So he challenged our businesses to learn to collect data. And then he said we could actually start by using free or low cost cloud AI tools first. And then he urged that we embed AI in our processes like marketing, sales, and analytics. So depending on what you're doing, can you identify a repetitive task or get a free or low cost AI tool and automate it? But also, it is very important you can collect data, organize it, and clean it, especially regarding especially your customer interaction data that will inform the AI tools and how you're going to use them to your advantage. So let's think about how we can embrace AI in everything that we are doing and start small, using free or low cost AI tools. Dr. Chalimpa talked about investment opportunities for entrepreneurs in 2025. At that time, we also said we are starting the year. Where do we want to take advantage? So first of all, he talked about investing in ourselves. Have you invested in yourself in 2025? What skills have you acquired? What knowledge have you acquired? Investing in your health, in acquiring competence, developing your competencies so that you can now be able to take advantage of other opportunities. Of course, trust is very important, and building trust is critical. Have you built trust? How are you going to build trust? And then, of course, he said Let's start with local solutions, use partnerships, and invest in the next generation. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's important that even as we close 2025, we are still able to reflect on this as we start, as we plan to start 2026. Next, please. So in February, we still had many other speakers. We had Diana Ninsima Chibuka. Those of you that know BNI International is a very, very powerful network of entrepreneurs, and they have a very unique model on how they support each other and how they take advantage of different opportunities. And Miss Chibuka talked about maximizing opportunities through strategic connections. And she focused on us building connections around us. Building connections around us. How many connections have you built? Let me share with you. Personally, I believe that it is networks that are going to get us into what we want. So I personally invest time. I invest time. On Saturday, I was invited to a function. I normally do my personal things over the weekend, but I said, let me go and see. These young people had organized a very powerful event at Hotel Africana. They had organized the African Climate Change Innovation Challenge, Climate Innovation Challenge. And when I went, I met some very, very useful people that I had failed to connect with over time. So if I had not done that, I would have missed out because it is Saturday, and it's Saturday is weekend. So most of the time we are very reluctant to attend events. They invite us and we decline. But I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we must be very intentional. I can also testify that most of the things that I have done in my life's journey have been because of the people that I've been connected with. So, whom did you connect with in 2025? And whom can you connect with? Who have you been looking for that you want to connect with in 2026? So, for me, the key takeaway here, and we said, what did we learn? What should we do? We learned that we should build connections, and the most valuable connections are around us. And so for me, the thing here is let us connect with other people. But connecting with other people requires investment. You'll invest in time, most especially time, because sometimes we think we are very busy, but let's do that. Let's be deliberate and do that. Social media is very important as we connect with other people, build your social media presence, connect with people on LinkedIn, connect with people on X, on all these other social media platforms. For the professionals, LinkedIn is very powerful. For the entrepreneurs that are running businesses, social media is powerful. TikTok, YouTube, those very different social media platforms are important. Dr. Charles Kawalia from MUBS talked about unlocking your business potential with the power of choice in 2025. What choices have you made? Because it is choice that determines if you will succeed in business. You must be very intentional in everything that you do. What kind of choices have we made? Or have we simply sailed through 2025? You need to think back, and as we go into 2026, let's be very deliberate because these choices inform what we do. What kind of businesses do you want to go into? What are those things that you wanted to do to develop yourself that you didn't do, to grow your business that you didn't do? So, and he urged us to understand our customers deeply, understanding how they behave and their preferences, being very intentional. And then, of course, he pointed out the high potential sectors, including IT, food, care, transport, tourism, fashion, and energy. Recently, I was one of the entrepreneurs we invited to speak to us shared something very interesting. And he said, but when you're doing business, go into those sectors that cannot die no matter what. And this gentleman is he was our speaker from Kamwenge, Photo Kamwenge Road. And for him, he's working with farmers, he's doing value addition on grains and all that. And no matter what happens, when COVID came, did we stop eating? We didn't. So, what are those high potential sectors that you may want to focus on as we get into 2026? Because the entrepreneurial journey is also about continuously identifying opportunities. It does not matter what you're already doing, but also look at what else you can do. But I would urge that, taking away from Dr. Kawalia what we should do, let's look at those sectors that will not die no matter what. We identify and exploit opportunities there. Next, please. So we also had Miss Audrika Harakauchi, who is also the former director, and in fact, she's the founding director, pioneer director at the MUBS Entrepreneurship, Innovation and Incubation Centre. She built the center from scratch, and she really helped create a firm foundation for us at the center, and where all of us now have built, and we built on what she did. But she went out to start her own business, and this is what she said: we should continuously learn, because continuous learning is going to give you competitive advantage. Because every time you learn, you do things better. You get to know what you didn't know. I've met people who said they don't want to learn anymore. They've seen it all, but I actually don't believe in that. We should ask ourselves, what have we learned in 2025? I've seen opportunities for training online, free. We've seen opportunities, and today with social media, there is so much information going around, and people see such opportunities and they simply don't pay attention. But I want to promise you that the one thing that is going to make you different is continuously learning. I never stop learning. For me, this year, for example, I don't know how many programs I've signed up to learn, to become a better person. So we need to do that. She also said, for those of you that are in production, distribution is very important. Have multiple channels and strategic locations. She runs a bakery, and she said that whereas the entrepreneurial journey is tough, you should remain persistent and be creative. Dr. Agnes Nasuna Kasirie, who is a senior lecturer in the finance department of MUBS, also shared finance principles for entrepreneurs. And of course, she talked about the finance mindset as very important. And she urged us to cultivate positive beliefs about money to create opportunities. What are your beliefs about money? What have been your beliefs about money in 2025? And where have those taken you? And she also said we needed to build skills: financial planning, saving, investing, managing expenses, and managing risk. What have you done of these? What have you done? And what should you do? What should you do is look at your beliefs, revise them. Should you have negative beliefs about money? What are your beliefs? And I'll tell you that we have all these presentations available. We have the recordings. We shall share this with you so that you can also go and continue reflecting further as you plan, as you work on your actions for 2026. Planning your finances. Have you saved? What have you invested? How have you managed your expenses? Have you set your financial goals? Can you create a personal financial plan? And so those are the very key takeaways, but also most important, in this session, we want to focus on what are we going to do? What should we do for us to make 2026 better? Can we go to the next slide? Okay, so we also had Dr. Ismail Kambwe. He's the head of Department of Small Business Management in MUBS, Projects and Small Business Management. And he also looked at the entrepreneurship skill set for the 21st century. And this is what he said: we need to act quickly and implement ideas without delay. What are those ideas that you've been toying with since 2025 when we started and you said, I want to do this, I think I can improve here? What is it that you have done about those ideas? Because now we're in December. By the way, the year has gone by. I think I didn't even realize that we are in December when Honorable Sematimba first talked to us, and we were just starting. But now it's the end. What are those ideas that you've toyed with that you have not implemented? Please act quickly. After this session, let's go and start. Embrace digital tools to reach and serve customers, and also network effectively. I think the networking theme keeps on coming up, and the continuous learning theme is keeps coming up for us to do better. So what should you do? Act quickly, do not take a long time, embrace technology, and continue networking. Mr. Frank Katusime, who talked about doing business in Uganda for the last 40 years, he shared his lessons, and he urged us to be resilient. Yes, 2025 may have been difficult for you, but we are choosing to keep on. And also, he urged that we make sure that our names, we build a good reputation. A good reputation is very important, because when people know that you're a good person, it becomes very easy for them to share information, to connect you to other people. And of course, he urged us to use other people's money strategically, and to build our own dreams. So those are the key takeaways. But most important, what is it that you want to do? What is it that you should do in 2026? Choose to remain resilient, choose to build a good reputation, and be intelligent with use other people's money to do what you want. Of course, this will depend which other people, friends, family, financial institutions. You need to be very smart on how you go about that. Let's go, please. We are done with that. We are done with that. Okay, so in Apple, we had Miss Florence Nakajubi, a MUBS staff, also a PhD student in energy, doing her PhD in energy, and she talked about matching energy solutions to your business needs. And she came to speak to us twice, but I'll very quickly summarize and say, in whatever we are doing, how are we managing our expenses, energy expenses, and which she suggested that we are very, very keen about. And she invested. She suggested that we should invest in backups and alternatives, and not really over relying on the grid. For those of us that are running businesses, manufacturing, depending too much on energy. And she said that we need to invest in efficiency, because when you choose a good energy solution, you're likely to be more efficient, and you're likely to also cut the cost. And for all of us that are doing whatever we are doing, how are we managing the energy cost, whether in business, whether at home, whether in our institutions? How are we managing this? Because this is also helping to make us much more efficient. We lower the costs and become much more competitive. That is something we also want to think about as we go into 2026, and also determine what can we do. Because you can't, we cannot not only talk about business, but we should also talk about homes. We should also talk about work, because eventually the costs are going to eat into us. They're going to eat into whatever we are doing. So what are you going to do about that? Make a very smart decision. Choose a very good energy alternative to enable you cut costs and become more efficient and competitive. Next. Okay, we had Dr. Sirajaiga, who talked about failure as a secret entrepreneurial weapon. Have you failed in 2025? Yes, it is true that you may have failed, but failure is a secret entrepreneurial weapon, because when you don't fail, you actually do not know how to do things better. In fact, in one of the books I was reading recently about mindset, they talk about people that have failed, but with a growth mindset, that people who failed, but with a growth mindset, also do much, much better. So one of the things we need to understand is that failure is okay, it is normal, it happens. But the most important thing is, what do we take away from failure? Does failure define us? No. Failure should not define you. If in 2025 you did fail, failure should not define you, but instead should provide you with the opportunity to do even better, because now you have learned. Be positive and think long term. And Dr. Edwin Musime talked about avenues for growth in Uganda's emerging sectors. Again, he's a real estate person, and he urged us to look at real estate, agriculture, technology, innovation, renewable energy. And he said that for us to succeed, we should think beyond borders. We should not only think about doing business here in Uganda. We need to have passion. We should build intellectual capital and leverage experience. Again, this is really pointing us to what should we be looking at in terms of growing ourselves, growing our businesses, pointing us to the sectors and the way we should be thinking about business. Again, this should inform you, what should you do as we go into 2026. Next, we need to be faster. So Dr. Mutumba talked about franchising, using franchising to unlock growth. For those of us that are, into production, we want to expand our channels. Can we look at franchising? For example, you have a business that does very well in Kampala, but then through franchise, that business is extended to the northern part of the country, to the western part of the country, because with franchising, you replicate a successful model without owning the branch. You don't meet the cost. You have somebody who is, using your brand name and providing services, products and services at the level that you expect them, at a standard, but also they earn and you also earn, and that is how we can also be able to grow our businesses. And he suggested that we should document our models, create and choose partners who have the potential, start small and plan in the long term. Ms. Hezo Mutesa gave us tips for business success etiquette, and normally this is an area that we don't pay attention to, but how we conduct ourselves will make or break our businesses. Some people will not go back to a business where people fail to conduct themselves professionally, and she emphasized first impressions and the teams that represent our brand. How do the people carry themselves? There are so many times when I've gone to a place and I said, I think I should never come back here, simply because of how people treated us. And so she urged us to be much more professional, making people comfortable and making customers remember how they felt when they interacted with us. What should we do? So then we had Miss Priscilla Batenga speaking about culture, building a culture of quality. I know a number of businesses in Uganda suffer with quality. A few of them do focus, but a number of them suffer with quality. But she talked about quality as exceeding expectations, exceeding expectations in services and also product offerings. And she urged that people should build trust, consistency, build trust by branding, test and packaging delivery. But also, she also brings out the key idea of continuous learning to improve quality. Uncle Mo came to us and also talked about harnessing our skills for breakthrough. And he talked about, I like his model. He said that everything is possible, everybody can learn a skill. You first, and you look at what somebody is doing, you imitate it, and then you continuously do it until you perfect it. So he says, you should start now and don't wait for perfection. Learning by doing, as long as you identify what you want. You identify somebody who has perfected that skill. You learn from them, you imitate them, and then you continuously adapt until you perfect it. And he said in that way, you need to be consistent. Next. Oh, we had Professor Baho in June, and he told us about how to grow our businesses through tenders. Most of the time, we start our business, we know what we do, we do it so well, but we have not looked at tenders as another way. And he said he urged us to work with government, because in government, every sector has tenders. You might be a very good farmer, you might be, it depends on the sector where you are. And he urged us to look out for opportunities to work with government. And he urged that for us to be able to to break through those tenders, we needed to be compliant with URA, URSB, PPDA, and other trade licenses. And he said that our past performance determined our future opportunities. So this is a thing that you want to focus on. Maybe 2026, is it something that you want to do? I already talked about Dr. Mutumba. He also came back on 8th May to talk about how franchising could be used to unlock growth. Next. We had Don Patrick Bujingo, who talked about passing the torch, succession planning. And Don Patrick Bujingo is from Aloysia Organics, taking over business from his mom, who passed on during the COVID time. He also shared with us how we could ensure transgeneration, where in a family business, you have the founders passing on the business to the next generation. But he also mentioned in his experience that the late Hajat Aisha Nakasujame, her soul rest in peace, had prepared him. And, succession planning, therefore, is an intentional thing. It doesn't happen by accident. You're here, you have a family business, you've started a business. Please bring your family members on board, bring your children on board. It is holiday time. Are the children back home sleeping? Are they watching TV? Are they going to watch? Are they going to watch movies? What is that you're doing that you want these children to learn? Now is the time for you to prepare that child. And it has to start early and it has to be very intentional, because if you do not do that, then you're going to you'll be disappointed, because sometimes you don't even have to pass on. You become weak, you're not unable, and then a very good business may die just because of that. So let's plan 2026. Let's be intentional in succession planning for our businesses. Dr. Freddie Rwanga talked about trusting our teams, the people that we work with in our businesses, in our organizations. Are we able to create that trust? Because when you trust people, when you delegate to them, they learn, they do better, they believe you trust them, and they will also they will also have building that shared ownership creates a better environment for a business to trust better. And here he referred to most of the small businesses that do not trust their employees, and as a result are not able to tap into that potential. Next. So we had Mr. Augustine Oluga, who talked about leveraging partnerships to grow your business. I can't emphasize this even more. I have a testimony for us at the Entrepreneurship, Innovation and Incubation Centre. We have been able to do what we are doing through partnerships. And we are moving away from the heroic entrepreneur who says, I started this business, I can do things alone, I can succeed alone. Today, we are talking about partnering, because nobody has it all. Somebody has a connection that you need. And if you do not work with them, if you do not engage with them, then you're likely to miss out on the opportunities. A lot of times for us, most of the projects that we have run at the center have been through partners. And I've seen Professor Baho type in here. Professor Baho, thank you very much. You have also been a very key person in developing strategic partnerships for the business school. So strategic partners are very important for whatever you're doing. Please, in your business, look out for who can I partner with. We need to move away from the solo model, because we run business in a complex environment, and the interconnections, the networks is what is going to make our businesses grow. And so this is something that you want to think about in 2026. Even Mr. Emmanuel Tumchabe did the same thing. He talked about partnerships, and this is a young man in Bali who told us about his story of how he worked with farmers, and he's running Seed Star Coffee Company, and he's simply partnering with farmers. So in your business, who are you partnering with in 2026? Who did you partner with in 2025? Can you evaluate that partnership? Where are you taking it in 2026? Next. So we had Dr. Hamida Babidie talking about, she said, talk less, influence more, using body language in your business. Again, now, this is about how, now when we are running our business on a day-to-day basis, how do we communicate with our customers? How do we communicate with our employees, our colleagues, our staff members? And to me, this speaks about communication. How do we communicate? How did we communicate in 2025? How can we communicate better in 2026? Like I said, these recordings are available, and on request, we shall share this, and that will allow you to concretize your action plan for 2026. Next. So in August, we had Mr. John Chaze, a senior standards officer in UNBS, again, talking about how we can use standards to grow our businesses. Most of the time, we are happy to start our business, run it, do well, but without knowing that we miss out opportunities when we don't comply with the Uganda National Bureau of Standards, which develops and implements standards for product safety and delivery. And here, the key lesson is, can we comply because we want to be competitive, because we want to tap into opportunities? And in fact, he indicated that they are always available to support the entrepreneurs learn how they should comply. Please, did you comply with standards in 2025, or do you want to, or if you want to do this in 2026, so that now is a time for you to plan and let us know, because we are happy to contact Mr. Chaze again. We also had Mr. Richard Tugume, who talked about using values and soft skills to build a resilient business. In fact, Mr. Tugume mentioned something very interesting, that our success is determined by our values. And most of the time, it is the values that are held by the business owners which cause business failure. For example, weak values, poor soft skills, were cited in his interaction with the businesses that he had supported, because he was running a certain, he worked with a certain cooperative where he observed successful entrepreneurs and those that were not successful. And he learned that values were very, very critical in determining where we are. Can you please check your values? Because your values are going to determine what you do, how you do it, and then also whether your business will grow or not. There are people who are disciplined with money. There are people who are, who are consistent. So check your values and see where they have brought you in 2025. And also, perhaps you want to go back and say, what values do I need for 2026 for my business to succeed in 2026? Next. So in August, we had Miss Jacqueline Bigirwa Nwamanya, who talked about creating a personal brand. Let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, that the personal brand is very, very important. What is it that people know about you? What have you done in 2025 that we will remember about you? Because passion is just not enough, but the brand that you build, and consistently building that brand, people buy people, she said, and they don't just buy services. There are times when you go to a place and you say, I'm looking for so and so. And the moment they tell you that person is not around, you simply won't spend more time. So it is very important that we focus on our personal brands. Did we make effort in 2025? What should we do in 2026? Mr. Wilobo Olanya talked about delivering rules for delivering exceptional customer service. Again, this is talking about customers, understanding our customers, getting the right people in our businesses, and he talked about how our employees appear. How do we prepare our employees? Are they happy people? Do they dress well? Do they listen? Do they take good care of customers? Because customers feel valued when they feel return only when they feel valued. Personally, I'll tell you that I only spend my money in places where I am valued. I'm very, very keen on that. I'll not just give you my money because I have to give it to you, but I must feel I'm a customer. So let us look at how we can deliver exceptional customer service to our people in business, even at home. We have customers everywhere. Let us look at how we can deliver exceptional customer service. And this is something that we want to be very deliberate on. Next. Mr. Wilobo came back and told us that for you to be able to deliver exceptional customer service, first you needed the right people, and you need to be professional, and you emphasize listening. Mr. Joseph Mukasa talked about keeping financial records for business growth. I can tell you that in all the activities that we have conducted at the center, training especially, we have found out that entrepreneurs have a problem with keeping records. And when you do not have records, it becomes very difficult to even persuade a partner, to persuade a financial institution, to persuade anybody, because you don't have any evidence, you don't have any documentation. So, and this is a problem that most of the businesses have been struggling with, and this is an area where we focused in our Grow curriculum, and we actually spent a lot more time, in fact, on the module where we talked about managing finances, managing business records. And Mr. Mukasa emphasized that counting cash did not actually reflect profitability. Documentation matters. In fact, the women entrepreneurs that we trained gave testimonies. They said they didn't, before we trained them, they didn't even know, but now they did understand how their businesses were running. They knew how to spend their money because they now had records which provided evidence of transactions. And so this helped them manage their assets better, monitor their cash flow, and also before they even say, because at some point many women wanted money, but then they realized that they needed to do a lot more in their businesses before they accessed the money from the financial institutions, because they had to learn how to keep records. Have you kept your business records? Have you kept your personal records in 2025? Can you go back and look at how you can do this better? Next. Next, Josh. Mr. David Elungat talked about why funding matters and proving impact. Actually, Mr. Elungat also pointed us to a new area, and he said that if your business, if you integrated the aspect of impact, the impact that you're creating in your community, you could get funding, because most of the time, entrepreneurs are struggling with funding. Sometimes you have a very good business, a very good business that has the potential, but you struggle with funding. And he said, let's add the idea of impact. Is the business about you, or is it about the change that you can create in your community? Because there are always partners, donors, institutions that are looking for others to support. So you needed to be innovative. You needed to incorporate the impact idea. Are you touching women? Are you touching young people? Yes, you might, for example, run a school. It is a private business. You're making money, but perhaps in that school, you're also looking at a special category of kids who are maybe orphaned, who are marginalized, or they have disabilities, and you find an organization that can fund you. And that way, you would also be able to grow your business because you did that. Then it also took us through how we could actually write the grant, fundable grant proposals. That information is available. And he shared his experience running an NGO in the northern part of the country, and this information is also available. Please, what impact are you going to integrate into your business that is going to help you to attract funding? This funding is always available. It's about how we craft it. Next. In October, we had James Otobo, a former student of MUBS. He did Bachelor of Entrepreneurship and Small Business Management. He runs his company called Classic Catering Uganda. James's story is amazing. James shared how he started his business. His business has grown, but he largely talked about the passion. But what we take away from James most especially is the desire to learn. James did entrepreneurship, but James went and learned catering. And today he has a school. He has partnered with institutions. He has incorporated the aspect of impact in his business, because he's now supporting young people to acquire skills. So he talked about vision and passion. He talked about partnership and skills, financial discipline, and also focusing on delivering quality to the customers. Miss Leila Mpanga of Harmony International School actually told us about how her vision helped them to survive setbacks. They so much believed in a school. She's an engineer and she has a partner. I think they are all not teachers as such, but they loved teaching. They loved empowering. And because they believed so much in that vision, they were able to build a school, an international school in Muyenga, and this, in fact, she indicated that they had not even acquired a loan, yet they had been able to grow their school over time. I think they've run it for the last 13 years, and they talked about feedback and adaptation as something that enabled them to keep on improving, and they kept the faith. They never simply gave up. Next. In October, we still had Mr. Tim Otile who spoke with a lot of passion. He's a farmer in Lira, and he's an accountant by training. And he started small. He shared with us his pictures of his farm and even invited us. He had 1.5 acres, expanded it to 5.4 acres. He had diversified with different crops and value-added products. And for him, he talked about aligning your business interests. You're aligning business with personal interests. What is your interest? What is your interest? What can you do about that interest? But he also gave us a lot of hope in farming, and I believe that it is very important for us to look at what is our passion, and then how can we actually go and follow that passion and use it to start a business. But farming, and he invited us to his farm. I found it very inspirational as well. Mr. Jerome Magoba shared his experience of embracing calculated risk as an engine for success. He's a lawyer. He talked about how he started his business, but the most important thing was that he was always persistent and very prepared. He actually does real estate, but he shared with us what he did. And what I mostly learned about his presentation during his presentation was that you need to start no matter what. And number two is that whatever happens, you will make a mistake, but you continue learning from it. And with time, it almost becomes natural because you have learned. You have learned. So he talked about overcoming failures by leveraging knowledge and contacts, assessing market potential and personal resilience, but also he talked about taking action, and that would help reduce uncertainty. Next. In November, again, we talked about Dr. Agnes Nasuna Kasiri came and told us about rethinking high-cost business loans and when should we borrow and when should we not borrow. Have you borrowed in 2025? Do you want to borrow in 2026? I can tell you that most of the women that we trained under the GROW project started with the idea of wanting to borrow, but eventually they realized that they needed to do certain things before they borrowed the money. So, and here, Dr. Nasuna said you should only borrow to generate returns, borrow when your business is thriving, not struggling, and also do due diligence to understand the terms. Most people just want to quickly take the money because they want it now and never think about the terms. Miss Winnie Bagonza talked about how playing the rules makes you, and she talked about she's also a great educator, and for her she insisted that when you have your policies and procedures, they are very good, they are important for you as you run your business because your customers will trust you, and you become more efficient. And she also talked about being consistent, and also teamwork was very important in helping grow your business. Next. In November, we had Mr. Saddam Khalif from Lira, and he talked about why choosing difference is the fastest route to the market. Mr. Saddam, I remember very well in his presentation, he said, you don't have to do what everybody is doing. You can actually do something completely differently, okay? He talks about his business. He does milling. And in fact, he talked about, he's when he talked about the people that he competed with, it was unbelievable. So he started small, and for him, he targeted institutions, but he also prioritized trust. He, in fact, talked about building collaboration with competitors. Some of us think that we should not collaborate with our competitors. And he also talked about how he has been able to get into the market, doing trying to control the distribution, very important when you're in production. Mr. Businge, Richard from Kamwenge, talked about overcoming obstacles and turning them into opportunities. And he talked about as if he actually his business was said he was selling inputs, but then he ever to farmers. But when farmers kept on coming and saying they didn't have money to pay for inputs, they started offering their grains to him, and that's when he actually said, "Okay, you can give me your grains and you can take the inputs." And then thereafter, he started adding value. Now he moved away from input selling to now value addition, and he has now been able to grow his business. He now supplies seeds to farmers, and he has a big market in schools. And also, he talked about how he was able to manage credit. Next. So Ladies and gentlemen, let me share. We are excited to share with you what we have done. But what is most important is what can we do? What should we do about the lessons? There are very many. You may not take lessons from everybody, but you can choose the speakers that touched you the most, that spoke to your situation the most, and say, for me in 2026, this is what I am going to do. So I want to take the opportunity to thank the speakers. Like I said earlier, people don't like to share information. Some people succeed, but they don't want to share their stories. But when somebody succeeds and they share their story, I find them special, I find them different, and this is what we want to do. If you want to share your story, if you know somebody who can share their story, please come and share with us. I want to thank you most importantly for making time. And now, as we finish, let us go and work on an action plan. We thought December should be used to reflect and go and see how we can do better in 2026. At the center, we remain committed to serving you. We remain committed to enabling you become a better entrepreneur. Thank you very much. And Dr. Edith, I think you also want to ask something for the team that is attending. Thank you, and back to you, Dr. Edith.
Thank you so much, Dr. Diana. Dr. Diana, thank you. We appreciate what you've taken us through. And what you've taken us through is a real journey of 2025. You've been able to summarize, give us highlights of what we've been handling in 2025. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. I can see the comments in the chat. People are very appreciative. They are saying we have a journal of 2025. Thank you for taking us through this journey. And it has enabled us to make some reflections on what can be done. What have we learned in 2025? And moving forward, going to 2026, what is it that we are going to do? We appreciate you. Allow me also to add my voice to appreciate all those presenters who presented this year. I know we're going to the top of the hour. We don't need to take a lot of time, but I would have wished to find out from the participants today, as the director has indicated, as you work on the action points and how you want to, what you want to pick from the lessons and moving forward 2026, our question is, what do you think we should look at in 2026? If we could take off some few minutes to hear from you, maybe through the chat, or you could raise your hand in a few minutes. We want to finish this. Can we hear from you? You could type in the chat, or you could put up your hand. We don't have a lot of time. Since we don't have a lot of time, I would suggest that you type in the chat, and then we can pick those decisions from there. Let me just check. Do we have any hand up? Yes, I can see a hand. Jamima, unmute. Technical person, kindly allow Jamima.
Can I go ahead?
You kindly go ahead, briefly.
Good morning, everybody present. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the MUBS Management Leadership and the Entrepreneurship Center led by my friend, Dr. Diana. Personally, I have been attending and have benefited quite a lot, especially in managing my business. And I have also shared the information or the enriched knowledge I have acquired from here with my fellow business ladies. So my reason for putting up my hand is to thank you and to say that you have made a lot of value addition in our private lives and in our businesses, and you have contributed to the economic development of the country. We thank you so much, and we don't take your energy, your time, your knowledge for granted. Thank you. Continue. My name is Hope Jemima Kasimbazi.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I am associated with Private Sector Foundation Uganda.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hope Jemima Kasimbazi from Private Sector Foundation Uganda. We appreciate you. Thank you for your comment. We appreciate you. And thank you for always logging in to join our presentations. I can just briefly check in the chat, and people are appreciating. Some people are requesting for the, will you share this accordingly? We will share. And this is very, from Ronetta Tkonda, this is very interesting, flashback on the lessons learned. I'm also interested, okay, we've taken note. Greetings, thanks MUBS, this is from James. And leadership, indeed, this journal will be a great one to read. How I wish you make quarterly journals out of these presentations and lessons. That is something, a good idea for us. Thank you very much. And I can also read from Eunice Kabahinda. Thank you so much, Dr. Diana Alotland. 2026 should be different. Okay, thank you. Then from Daphne Nalvega, thank you so much, Entrepreneurship Center, for these consistent trainings. I have personally learned a lot through the year. Looking forward to developing an action plan. All right. Thanks. This is from Nicholas Nachikubye. Thanks for this presentation. All of you behind it, very informative. All right. I can see from George Odaya, he says real estate, do's and don'ts. We've taken note of that. Jerome Tuhaire, thanks so much, Doctor. We would look at planning, visiting some of the successful entrepreneurs. Planning to visit some of the successful entrepreneurs. Very interesting, a great idea. We've picked the idea. From Sibalaba, Francis, thanks so much for the invaluable recap of the Entrepreneurial Insights 2025. Well, welcome from Jerome Taire. He's continuing that we visit the successful entrepreneurs so that we get practical skills. Okay, we've picked that. Then from Agnes, thank you for summary of the year. I have been attending these sessions. And from Alice on so many years ago, I love the current approach of bringing practitioners. Keep this up. All right, thank you. We need to contact Private Sector Uganda, contact of Private Sector Uganda. I think they need a contact of Hope Jemima Kasimbazi. An appreciation from Professor Rachel Mindra, appreciating the director for the impactful work. There are many comments in the chat. We are going to capture them and be able to appreciate. Because of time, we'll pick ideas from what you've given us. We've gone beyond the top of the hour. And at this time, allow me to invite the principal, Makerere University Business School, to make his closing remarks. Professor Moses Muhwezi, please. You are most welcome. I would like to invite you to make your closing remarks. Technical team, is Principal still logged on? Kindly enable him to unmute.
Thank you so much, Dr. Basalirwa, and all participants of today. Being the last session in the year, we want to thank God that we have come this far, and we have closed off our sessions in this good way. I want to congratulate all of you for working with MUBS in 2025. Every other week you are part of this, and I think you have done us proud as our dear partners. And thank you specifically for taking interest in knowledge. Knowledge is important, And the importance of knowledge goes beyond simply listening in and getting this cognitive knowledge. It empowers us. We are able to make optimal business decisions. For example, we'll be able to exploit opportunities to the full. We'll be able to minimize risks. So business knowledge is very, very important. It will shape our personalities. Some of the presentations have been to shape our personalities and our opinions and to guide us capture the universe. So I think it has been a great year, and the knowledge we have shared has been that great. I have attended perhaps half of the sessions, and I have benefited from the various presentations. I want to call upon you, for me as an educationist, that always seek to know. Even beyond your discipline, you have to cross to the other areas beyond your profession. And Entrepreneurship Center has given us this opportunity to know, to seek to know. Even when you think you know, there will always be more wonder. So it is important that you get to know a lot of things. Entrepreneurship Center, thank you. Next year, I think you need now to take us through even other areas that are not directly entrepreneurship in nature, but help entrepreneurs survive. Issues like law, how do you make a will? How do you transfer your shares to your sons, to your daughters, so that we have the second and third and fourth generation of business? We know challenges of family business, issues to do with insurance, specific issues. For example, how do you import things from China? People go to China to import things. Can we get somebody who has that experience to talk to our entrepreneurs? How it is done? How do you go? Whom do you trust? Things like nutrition. Social media has a lot of things. Don't eat this, eat the other one. Can we get a professional to also teach us about this? Because they are important for us as human beings. The choice to employ relatives in our businesses or outsiders, these models, I think there are very many things that we can go for because our people need this knowledge. For me, as the CEO of MUBS, I'm happy that this is happening, and I'm happy that as MUBS, we can contribute to the community. This is what government requires of us. And if they come to evaluate, I think MUBS, we should be able to score highly. I need to ask all faculties to do so, to have links with the communities whom they serve and have this knowledge shared. Knowledge cannot keep only in the four walls of the university. Otherwise, it becomes useless. Knowledge must be shared at the communities because there are communities that they sent us to the university to learn. Other than this, I hope Diana told colleagues and participants that MUBS has done much, much more out there. We have trained over 2,000 women, World Bank, and I visited most of them, the upcountry areas. When you hear testimonies, what they have learned, directly you get to know that the business school has a place in this country. And I'm happy to note your feedback, the comments you've made. Diana, we shall improve, I think, in the coming year. May I appreciate all presenters, all our partners that have been part of this. MUBS values you as our partners. What we are doing is right. Just continue. Thank you, Entrepreneurship, Incubation and Innovation Center, Dr. Diana, Edith, and team. You have done as well, and I want to applaud you. Can we formalize these training sessions? For example, if one attends 20 lectures, can this form a certificate? And can this certificate link to a diploma? The National Qualifications Framework, Dr. Diana take interest in it. It allows this kind of transition. If people have attended for 30 lessons. And we link this knowledge. We demonstrate the competencies and skills acquired. Deputy Principal, I think, is on. We need to work with Diana and see how we link this to the other upper knowledge areas so that our participants can be proud to be holders of certificate from MUBS and to be alma mater of MUBS. As we end the year, my dear participants, MUBS is proud of you and MUBS wishes you well. Merry Christmas and blessings as you cross into 2026.
Thank you very much, Professor Moses Muhwezi, the Principal of Makerere University Business School. We'd like to appreciate you so much for your closing remarks, which are very encouraging and motivating. You've inspired us. We appreciate because you've always been encouraging. Would like to capture some key tips from your closing remarks that knowledge empowers us and shapes our personalities. It is always important for us to seek to know. And you've advised us to think through some other areas which we can take the sessions through next year. These have been captured very well. And in addition, when I check in the chat, many people have given indications of what we should look at next year. We appreciate and will be capturing from that. Mr. Principal, again, we appreciate you because you've kept encouraging us to continue linking up with communities and do extension work with communities. We appreciate you for that encouragement. And you've now given advice that can the center look for a way of formalizing these sessions so that we establish, if somebody has attended some sessions, they can acquire a certificate, they can acquire a diploma and be able to link up the knowledge. We appreciate this advice. I think the Director Entrepreneurship Center has taken note of this, should be able to link up and see how this can be formalized. We'd like to, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to appreciate the principal, Makerere University Business School, and his management team for the encouragement and motivation they've given us to be able to run these sessions. We appreciate you, principal, and your team. I've seen the deputy principal was logged on. Hope she's still there. We appreciate you, and we'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate Professor Rachel Mindra for becoming the deputy principal. We congratulate you, and I would like, on behalf of Makerere University Business School, to thank and appreciate everybody who attended today. Thank you very much. All our participants who have been attending throughout the year, we appreciate you. Thank you very much. And those who attended today, we again appreciate you for all the ideas that you've given us that will guide the way forward as we start 2026 and as we go through 2026. We appreciate you. Thank you for working with us to make the journey of 2025. The journey has been exciting to work with you. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Allow me to appreciate the director of the center, Dr. Diana Ntamu. Thank you for your leadership and the team at the center. We appreciate everybody. And since this is our last session this year, we wish you all the best. Kindly, like the director has indicated, concentrate on the action plans so that we are able to finalize the year well and move into the new year when we've planned very well. I wish you all the best. Wish you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And thank you so much for supporting us in 2025. I'd like to end it here. Wish you all the best and I wish you well. Have a blessed Thursday and bye-bye for now.
You gotta get up. You gotta get up and make a move. 'Cause the world will never see you until you do. No, they don't really care what you're going through. So you gotta show them, baby. You gotta show them the real you. You gotta give them what you've got. No, don't let them say what you're not, 'cause you are strong. You are wise. You are worth beyond 1,000 reasons why. And you can't be perfect, baby, 'cause nobody's perfect, darling. But no, 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 there's nobody in the world like you. What do you do when you can't let go? What do you say when you just don't know how you feel? And you know nobody knows how you feel, 'cause everybody's got their own damn problem. So everybody's trying to find their way, and day by day is a struggle. In this world, you know you have to hustle. Just know that you're not alone. You don't always have to be strong all by yourself. I said it's okay to ask for help. Now listen, people will find you, but they don't define you. And you will find people who help redesign you. People will find you, but they don't define you. And you will find people who help redesign you. You are a work of art. Bet you didn't think you'd come this far. Now here you are. Baby, you are strong. You are wise. You are worth beyond 1,000 reasons why. And you can't be perfect, baby, 'cause nobody's perfect, darling. But no, 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 there's nobody in the world like you.